welcome, welcome. This is our third episode to put it all on red. This is Roberta, the tool lady. I have Francis Cherie joining me tonight. We're going to do a conversation just about putting things in 23 and what we're going to leave in 23. Some things that Miss Cherie and also myself, Roberta, the tool lady, has overcame in 23. Earlier, I was speaking with this young lady, and she was telling us, or telling me, and later on, she was telling my producer as well, how this the fear of just talking in public. And then, she went on to say all these things that she offers and just being able to not say the things that she offers, right? Because you got to learn how to communicate it. So tonight she's gonna come on and we're gonna just have a conversation about the things that we're overcoming and the things that we're gonna leave in 2023, and certainly some things that didn't benefit us and aren't gonna benefit us to even take in 2024. How you feel about that, Francine?
I actually feel very good about it. I'm just, as you were saying it, I was brainstorming. I'm like, oh yeah, what am I leaving back? Leaving behind in 2023, and I got a lot on my mind. I have more in the plans that's coming up. So, one of the biggest things I keep thinking about is fear. I'm leaving that behind in 2023. I want to be a risk taker.
All right. Okay. Well, fear is a pretty big one, right? Partially about me. I came from the mental health field, also the substance addiction field. I'm licensed in Texas. I've been working in that field for like 20 years, and I didn't really tell you. Well, I guess you did. You were at the interview, so you do know a little bit about me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's sort of some of my field, but I'm getting to that to say that the fear is something that I always talk to people about. Fear is false evidence appearing to be real.
Mm,
So, right. So for us, it looks like it's real, but it's not.
it's
It's
not.
so let's just get to talking about these things. And I know you said, well, I was thinking about a list and you didn't know where to start at. First of all, tell me just a little bit about yourself before we go to that list.
Um, to sum me up in a nutshell, I would say that I am my mother. I am very ambitious. I'm a hustler. Whatever I have interest in, I will try to find a way to make it profitable, and not only just for me to profit from, but for other people to enjoy and be able to gain something from it as well. So just like my mom, she's been in the medical field for years. I've been in the medical field for years, and I still am. Um, and I've watched her like do so many different things, just like side hustles or start businesses or whatever. And we talk just like day before yesterday, and I was telling her my plans I have for 2024. And it's funny because she's already started what I said I was about to do. She's doing the same thing. Um, so I thought that was interesting. And I said, you know what? I was just telling somebody I'm just like you. And my hustle and ambition comes from you. Because I've always watched her. I grew up watching her do that for me and my siblings. And, that's what I gotta do for my kids. We gotta make a way. In this day and age, one income is not enough. You have to hustle and find your way.
All
Uh,
right.
But outside of medical, there's multiple things. So I did make a list because when we were talking about it earlier, I'm like, what else do I do? I'm like, I just kept coming up with stuff. But, within the medical stuff, we learn a lot about anatomy. Anatomy is one of the biggest things in the medical field. So I started doing some courses in massage, and I invested in my own supplies. Now I started doing some holistic massage therapy. And, when you say holistic, it's not just that you are healing the part of the body that hurts. You are mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically healing that person. So when I do these massages, I'm not just rubbing you. I'm actually meditating in my mind. I'm doing breathing techniques, and I encourage that person to do it as well. Some people like to talk like during massages, but I'm not gonna lie, because the way I do them, I encourage them to practice your breathing techniques. Take your deep breath in your nose and blow it out through your mouth, and then just feel you the vibrations of your cells, everything flowing, like everything that goes along with massage. You're releasing toxins and all this buildup is once you do a massage, you're supposed to drink a bunch of water afterwards to release those toxins. So all of that plays a part in healing all those different areas of the body. So just me being a big medical person, I always found joy in making people feel good, caring for them, and stuff like that. So massage is one thing I was interested in, and aside of that, definitely us as women, we invest in ourselves, right? So my mom actually invested in a lot of aesthetic supplies. She has all kind of machines and started a little small business of her own. And I did some training with her, and we had the laser lipo, non-invasive laser lipo, hydrofacial 360, laser acne reduction, laser hair reduction, just all kind of stuff. Teeth whitening. She has it. So I started doing some of that with her as well. So that's just a few things, just to name some that I started doing.
Okay. So that's a lot. And that's just a little bitty bit. You're gonna
Yeah.
at this and it's Francis, right?
Yes,
Francis?
ma'am. Francis Cherie, yes.
Okay, Francis. Miss Francis is a diamond in the rough. Because she has other endeavors as well. Now certainly now would you kind of explain to them what does that you said aesthetics, listen to me, I'm gonna mess the word up. That's that Oklahoma in me. Could you tell us what that means for our listeners?
Aesthetics.
Yes.
So when you're in that area of aesthetics, you're basically it's more so like body altering. You're altering something with your body. So like for example, like I said with we'll say the non-invasive laser lipo, for instance. We have after we have kids and stuff like that, we might have that stubborn fat in the abdominal area that we can't get rid of. I deal with it myself. So um, I'll use the machines on myself and basically, no, you're not burning. You don't have a laser burning you. It's not like that, but it's basically body contouring and altering. So you have these lasers that are actually melting fat cells on the inside, and no, you don't feel anything. But it's working, it's doing it. And then there's the cavitation where you're loosening those cells up and suctioning it. That's why, just like massage, if you do the non-invasive laser lipo, you drink water and then those cells are releasing through urination. um, Same thing with the hydrofacials. It's just all an aesthetic thing. So when you do that, you're removing like that top layer of dead skin, and you're rejuvenating, getting a fresh layer of skin on your face. So it's all about just enhancing, altering the physical portions of your body.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, because some of our audience will be like, what is that? Uh,
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty big at that because it's part of self care. It's a
Hmm.
big part of self care, right? Um, Now, what I want you to do is kind of back the train up a little bit. You said, your mom is your I want to say, um, I want to say like your icon, and I feel like that's kind of that's remarkable because
Hmm.
but usually we watch moms or we can watch my dad and we won't say basically we want to be like them, but you did say that is your number one your inspiration. Now could you tell me kind of a little bit of the backstory, um maybe start a little bit younger, maybe
um let's think back.
just back
So
a little bit so we just know
just
Precious Cherie has went walked through, and what maybe you and your mom also have walked through, because
Yeah.
it takes something for that bond to be that
Hmm.
strong.
Well, my family, my entire family, we are from New Orleans, Louisiana. So, you know, we come from an area of tourism and all like that seems more important out there than actual life and living. And then, back in the day, as a kid, I never really got to see the struggles because my mom didn't make it super visual. But as I started getting older, I could see, when it got to a point where um, I could say I was a teenager and I wanted my first car. She would do what she had to make it happen, but she also tried to instill responsibility into us. So she might have paid for majority of that car, but she gonna leave me a small portion to pay. But it's times where, you know, I can remember we were paying for the car, she had trouble paying for it. And then I'm like, okay, well, I got a little job. I'm a teenager. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up the pieces. I'm not gonna leave all the weight on my mom. Like it's just kind of seeing where it's normal for times to get hard. And my stepdad was there. He was in the picture. He paid bills. He did stuff too. But it's just some of those things you see where it's like your mom is really just trying to be strong on her own, and you just kind of pick up from it. You're just like, I appreciate you for even doing that because you got all your own things going on the side, your own bills, your own vehicle notes, and all that. And me as a teenager, did I really need a car at the time? Probably not. But you know, I was at that age. I wanted one. I wanted to start working, and she could have easily sent me out there to get a giant car note of my own and have me struggling with it, but she didn't. And even though I know that some of those times were hard for her to do it, she still made it happen. And that's kind of when I got out of it, just making it happen. So like I said, as a young child, um, I really feel like we were good. But just once I started getting around like middle school, high school, stuff like that, um, that's where I could see more where like it's expensive to live. We lived a great life actually. Like we didn't really want for too much, but there were those hard times. And even if it wasn't hard times, my mom has always just started things on her own to have a side income to make sure if we want to go on vacation or if we, whatever we want, you work hard for it. You want that luxury car, you got to work for it. And that's just how I see things. I've never been a person to stick my hand out because I've never seen her do it. She will come up with any side hustle before she asks somebody for something. And that's me, like to the T. If I ask you for something, just know I really need it because I have like this pride in me where I don't like asking for stuff.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Francis. Now, I had a couple of questions, and I think you did answer what one of our listeners asked. They said, "Did you come up in a two parent home?" Which you said you did have a stepfather.
Hmm. Yes. So, if I can remember, my mom and father, I think they split when I was possibly around two, or it could have been before I was two. I think it was before I was two. Um, it was so long I don't remember, but I think I asked a long time ago. Um, but my stepfather has been around since I was that small, as well. He's been around forever. Um, did me and him always have the best or closest relationship? Not really. Um, I was closest to my mom and my grandmother more than anything. I felt like that was, that was my main parents. And then, when I would go to my dad's, I would see my dad. But my stepfather was present and is still present today. There, he's still there, and he did things to take care of us. I just felt like we never had the bond, or the relationship, that father daughter thing. It never really happened.
Okay. And I mean, and honestly, hey, I'm gonna say I appreciate your candidness. You know,
Hmm.
we're all growing. That's what this show is really about. As I shared with you in our phone conversation, I want you to share some of those struggles, because basically the truth is other people go through those struggles and they
Mhm.
don't ever talk about it, or they hold on to it. So we're going to
Yeah.
get, as we get to the end of the show, we're going to talk about that as well. But now, but I do admire that you say, hey, I want to be, I really admire my mom.
Mhm.
I really do. That's very admirable. Now, I want to ask you. You had said something else about. Let me think, because it was a lot. A lot.
Yeah.
He even told us a lot. Now, I want to know about your journey as once you graduated from high school and you're from New Orleans. And being from New Orleans, I gotta ask you, do you know how to say "let the good times roll" in French? That's important to me. Okay.
um. Yes.
Okay.
Kind of, sort of. Um.
I
So
meant.
I remember my mom used to say that all the time, and I never knew what it meant until I asked her. I'm like, what does that mean? So obviously, being from New Orleans, a lot of my family is Cherokee Indian, Creole, which is Creole is kind of like that mixture of French, Black, Spanish in there, a little bit of everything. But let the good times roll. I believe, if I'm saying it right,
Okay. I'm saying.
laissez les bon temps rouler is how my
Woo!
mama always say
Yeah.
it. Yeah, so.
Hey. Okay. You gonna make, you gonna start. You gonna make me forget. I know. I'm gonna be wanting some gumbo and some bread, some French bread or something.
I had that for Christmas. My mom hooked the gumbo up. I was like, all right.
Look at her, or some
Yes.
eggs or something. I love New Orleans. Uh,
Yes. The culture is amazing. The food obviously is amazing. And I always miss being home, but I do feel like if you are more concerned about your future, you don't want to be there.
yeah,
It's That's why I said earlier. It's more of a, they value the tourism more than the actual citizens that's there.
yeah, yeah,
And I was a kid when I moved here to Dallas, Texas. I was in middle school, and I moved here in 2005 during Hurricane Katrina. So I didn't, at that time, I wasn't really thinking about my career, my future. But growing up and understanding life now, when you're on your own, you got a family, then you like, yeah, no, I'm not moving back there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is. It's a little rough. It's a little humble, and the resources are, because it's more of a servitude city or
Hmm.
state, know, more servitude than any other industries. I think so. It is pretty tough. I would say to be to make it. Um, Now with Hurricane Katrina, you integrated into Dallas.
Hmm.
How old were you? Do you
I
remember?
believe I was 12, if I'm not mistaken. 12 or 13, somewhere in there. Hmm.
Wow, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was young. It was crazy. That was a life-changing thing, but I will say, like I said, I think it worked out for the better. And what's funny is my mom was already considering moving out of state in the first place, and that was just like the push she needed.
Right, right.
Hmm. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing how I would say God works? God winks, or God's nuggets. Like, okay, he'll wink and you'll be here. He'll drop a little nugget and you hear this. And so I think that's how life kind of works. So it's
Hmm.
amazing how it works like that. Just like the night we met at the other viewing, and then I was like, okay. And I kept it in my mind. I was like, no, I got to contact her. And I got up this morning with you on my mind. So it's just amazing how God
Yeah.
works. Now, what I wanted to go to now, I did kind of announce that you were going to be on, and I did announce one thing that we had in common, which I think is kind of might be several things, because you said your grandmother was really important to you as well.
Both of them.
Okay, see, I only had one, but she made up a million for me in my heart. So be, just be honest, she's probably about this short, but I love her dearly. So
Mm-hmm.
um now the other thing is that I know that you're an entrepreneur, or you like to say hustler. Now, so we're gonna change the verbiage to hustler though, because I'm gonna tell you why at the end. Because it's something my grandfather taught me about that word, but I'm gonna share it with you later. But I wanted to go to like adulthood now, because here we are in 2023. Uh, and what have been some of your trials as an adult?
Whew. um, where do I start?
Just some of the things you had to overcome.
Um, I would say in the beginning, maybe just stability. In the beginning. Um, so I got married young. I'm currently divorced. I got married at 21. Um, we had one kid already by the time I had gotten married. And just a young couple that we were working. I've had a job since 16. We were working, but cost of living expensive, so we're not making much, but just managing, trying to do things, do life or whatever. Um, just that stability in the beginning of trying to pay bills, take care of a kid. And this was when it was, a two-parent household. Um, and then deal with the normal troubles that come with marriage and a relationship. Um, those were probably the main things. Um, then outside of that, I would say, eventually I got pregnant with my second child. I have two, so I have a daughter and a son. Um, yeah, just dealing with trying to become successful, trying to beat the odds and beat those statistics that you're usually shot with. Um, all of that stuff. But sometimes some things do conquer and take over. But I refuse to let my past define me. I refuse to let what I've gone through keep me down here. No matter what I go through, I'm going up. I'm gonna go up.
Bravo. Now, you said, I know it is very hard to start life off. What were some of your interpersonal situations you had? Because I know matching up with someone, and I'm gonna give you an inside story myself. I'm gonna bring my stuff to the red,
Mhm.
because that's part of this show. To be honest with you, I got married when I was 17. Look how smart I am.
Wow.
So I was very young too.
Mhm.
And what I can say is a woman, I was taught, or as a girl, I was taught that I wanted a white fence, and I wanted a white picket. I mean, a white house, a white picket fence, right? And maybe one tree in the front. That's the picture
Mhm.
raw. And I learned that's not how it really works. So it was very tumultuous. It was very hard. because hey, I was only 17, and if anybody know anything about the brain is not even formed yet.
Yeah.
So basically, here I was, brain damage, getting married.
Mhm.
But some of our culture allows that, because I'm
Yeah.
from a small town as well. And I know that New Orleans is not a small town, but it also has kind of some small town ways,
Mhm.
that allows that. But and I do understand it's difficult to balance, because for one, you got to get to know yourself.
Yes. Ooh, you hit the nail.
So so now you got somebody else you getting to know. You ain't even got to know yourself yet. So it's difficult to start building on that. And not only, and not to say we're not brilliant women, because we are. This is where we learn from our mistakes. But we also have children to also learn. So now we're learning two, three, four different personalities along with us, and we're the ones that's supposed to be the glue holding everything
Yeah.
together. So I know it is a very difficult act to go by, right? So what were some of your interpersonal situations that you brought into that relationship, if you could?
Whew. You took the words out of my mouth. You took the words out of my mouth, and that was a great explanation. And I think that was like one of the biggest things. I never took the time to fully get to know me, appreciate myself, and understand myself. I just knew that the same thing you said. I want this type of life. I want to be married. I want my kids. I want my white picket fence. I want, all of that. But when you are going straight to thinking that and not first, you know, focusing on you as an individual, that can bring in other things. So I guess interpersonal stuff for me, I could say a lot of the time that I missed with my father, my biological, I I was like down and out about it, and I was like, I always wanted like that knit tight father daughter relationship, and I feel like because that was lacking, I looked for protection and like that in the other person, and in a man. Um, and then when if me by me doing that and meeting someone and not really taking my time with it, and having these expectations, that only hurt me in the end. So I kind of felt like I should have healed that first and got with my father and got that straight, or just whatever I needed to do. um I didn't. And I don't know, I feel like I don't want to go into it looking into someone else for what I'm lacking from childhood traumas or things that I feel like I lacked. I don't want to go into stuff looking for that. And that's what I did. That was just one thing.
Okay. And I can agree with you. I felt some abandonment issues as a child. So,
Hmm.
an attachment, right? So, what did I want? With my children and with my spouse, I wanted to be attached,
Hmm.
which was very codependent and very dysfunctional. And it does cause it has a effect, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, but again, Precious, the thing is, we're learning, and then it's kind of like you said before, that we won't let that say what we are now, right? Our
Hmm.
past will not will not say what our future is. So I think saying that is just to be able to at least identify it, because I think some people, and not to step on toes, but some people will deny it.
Hmm.
Oh, hey, I'm looking for a father. Or, hey, I'm looking for an attachment. to something. I don't really have attachment to anything, or I felt abandoned from some things, and I really need to fix that or
Right.
help with understanding that. But then also, just being a woman or a girl, we get sold that idea that, like I said, you're gonna get that white house, that white fence, you're
Hmm.
gonna have a dog, you're gonna have a picket fence, a little tree, maybe a fruit tree, and you're gonna have two kids, and life is
Hmm.
gonna be amazing.
Yes. It don't always go as planned.
At all. And then
Uh-uh.
we don't know even ourselves, or we don't even take time with ourselves. Like, who is Francis? Who is Roberta? What do they like, or what do you like? What do you not?
Mhm.
You kind of miss all of that. And then as time goes by, you get some anger, some resentment, and some strife, because you begin to think, but I'm a little bit better than this type of deal here. At least that's how I felt. Like, wait a minute, I'm better than this. This is
Yeah.
not what my life is supposed to be. So
Right.
I agree with you, and I think that's kind of what we go through as women. At least that's what I went through. Um,
Hmm.
and what I'm noticing now is that we're in a time where women are more empowered, girls are more empowered. So
Yeah.
it's really exciting to see that girls get sold more than that house and that picket fence and that man.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think a lot of that comes with just the change in times. Because, like, of course, back in the day, the women was to be at home, taking care of the home and the kids, and the man was out working. And nowadays, like, we're more on a similar level. Like, we might make a similar salary as a man, or we go out on our own and work and do whatever and not have to necessarily be home. Like, even when I was married, oh my God, like when I had both of my kids, I'm not gonna lie to you. Um, I stayed home for a year with each. I was miserable. I don't like, and women. Every woman is different. There is absolutely nothing with a stay-at-home mother by all means, but it is not for me.
Yeah,
I was ready to get the heck up out of there. I was like, I need my own paycheck.
yeah, yeah,
I need. Hold
yeah.
on, sorry.
And I
Yeah.
think maybe even some accountability, right? Because have you ever seen the house mom, or the person that you go to their house and they stay at home and they got, a grease stain here, they ain't got dressed, or they got their jogging suit on, and you're like, what's going on here? You got to get out. So even having that accountability so you can exchange and communicate with other people. And you had said something to me on the phone earlier about energy.
Mhm.
So we all need each other's energy. We all
Yeah.
feed off of that energy. So and not negative energy. Don't get me wrong. We don't need that. But we do need the energy of positive people around us and other people, because
Right.
that's how we vibe.
Right.
So so
You
you
feed off of it.
that
If you can catch energy and vibes. So if someone come around you and they like seem like they got an attitude, or they're answering you very short, you're gonna catch that energy and it's gonna put you in a bad mood. Your energy's then gonna be off. So what you want to feel like is what you surround yourself around. So if you want positivity and peace for yourself, you want to be around positive and peaceful people. If you want success, you want to be around successful people. You want to surround yourself with what you want for you.
yes. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry, my little one was crawling on the floor asking for some attention right now. And she was. I'm like, wait. So she
Yeah.
mad now. She didn't walk off. We good though.
That's all right. I'm a mother myself, so I know my children used to wait until I got on the phone. They may not say a word to me all day, but as soon as I get on the phone, they got something to talk to me about. As
Absolutely.
and as soon as I would go to sleep, they got something to talk to me about then. So
Mhm.
that's how they work. Um, Now, Francis, let's speed up to now. I heard you say something during your interview where you were, and I know we talked on the phone, and I'm gonna let you tell them about the drink deal. Uh,
Okay.
Explain it, and then I'm gonna tell you the other part that I want to ask you about.
So one of my other little shindigs, little gigs, whatever. I can, I guess, call myself a mixologist. So I got my TABC a couple years ago. And this kind of started out with me in my neighborhood I was living in. Our neighborhood had a Facebook neighborhood page, and um, again, it's just me. I'm like, at the time I was married, so I'm like, we done bought a house, and I'm like, we paying these bills, and I'm like, still want to go on vacations. I want to do this, that. So I'm like, all right, what's my next hustle? So I'm like, one thing I love to do is, for one, if I'm in the kitchen and I'm making something, whether it's a dessert, a dinner, a drink, I take very high pride and value if it tastes good. Like that excites me. So I love making pretty drinks or drinks that just taste good. So I thought about it. I'm like, the area I was living in, I'm like, we don't have any daiquiri shops around here. We don't have, adults beverages like that. So I went ahead. I noticed everyone on the Facebook page would make like barbecue plates. They would smoke briskets and all this stuff and post it, and people would go buy plates. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna sell drinks. So I did my little TABC thing. I got that, and I started making drinks. I'll come up with my menu or what I would have for that weekend, and post them on the page. People will put in their orders. When they were ready, I'll let them know. They'll come ring the doorbell, pick up their orders. And it was just Cash App, Zelle, whatever they had. And that was just an easy, like, little side hustle. And then just more recently, one of my friends owns a food truck, and he let me go on there, and I had made like adult Capri Sun pouches, and I had two different flavors in that and Jello shots, and I think I might have had like one other drink, but I had a whole bucket full. Went and sold that, made some good money that night.
Okay, I love it. I love it. I love it. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say what I heard you say, and you tell me if I did hear you correctly. Uh,
Hmm.
that night during your interview, you were also explaining how you could mix up herbs of healing.
So
Okay.
that I haven't really done much of. I
Okay.
think what you were talking about, she was asking me, the person that we were talking to that night, she was asking about like someone with diabetes and herbs and stuff that they may be able to take. And I just kind of mentioned something that a friend of mine started doing, and I tried it, and I'm like, it actually made me feel good. So they have these at Walmart, but it honestly tastes better when you make it yourself. It's like little immunity shots. So just for like just people who work in the medical field, hospitals, or you don't even have to work there. If you have blood pressure, high cholesterol, whatever, you can mix spices, certain spices and herbs, and take these shots. And those certain spices, they help. They work to lower blood pressure or cholesterol or whatever your issue may be. If you do it consistently, it can help. So I remember I was telling her that night that um, I started doing these shots that my friend told me about, and it was turmeric, cayenne, and ground ginger, and we get like a little teaspoon of it of each, and you can mix it in orange juice. You can mix it in. We mixed it in some kombucha. So kombucha is like a probiotic tea. That's also good for you. I would prefer the kombucha because you're also getting those healthy live probiotics in your gut to help cleanse you out and get rid of those bad germs in your gut. So those shots, like if you do those daily or a couple times throughout the week, just alone, it'll help. It helps boost your immune system. So that's what I was telling her. But I'm not really a herb mixer. I haven't really gotten much into that. I think my mom, she's the one that was telling me if I want to know something, that's the person I go to for that.
Okay. All right. Well, I like a lot of the holistic healing. I like the massages. I like the drinks. I also mix something up like that, sort of, for myself.
Hmm.
And because I like that. I like to be preventative rather than after the fact. You see what I'm saying? And
Yes.
you're right. If you're consistent with it, with in that those herbs, certain herbs, you can counteract certain illnesses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even I even do the black seed oil, and it's amazing.
Yes, I heard about that.
It is amazing.
I
So
haven't tried that one yet.
it's amazing.
What do you use it for?
It's for actually it usually sells off the shelves very quickly because people use it for tumors. It's known to shrink, but for joints, for joint pain, for anything that is rheumatoid or any type inflammation within the body, it actually that's what it works for.
Okay.
Almost, almost sort of like fish oil, but not.
Mhm.
It's a little bit stronger, to be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Okay, that's good
but
to know.
yeah,
Okay.
it's good to know what what you can use to kind of, like I said, be preventative.
Mhm.
A lot of people, because you start, but you're in the medical field, so you know this. So if you start taking, say, this medication, you may need something else for that medication,
Mhm.
or it may even ruin something else that wasn't even anything wrong with you to begin with, but because you took that medicine, now you have these other symptoms.
Complications. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, with the so with the drink thing, it's just honestly, um, if there's an event and I can do it, I'm like, and definitely BYOB events, people might bring something, run out, or they might bring nothing at all. Those are the perfect events. So I would try to catch those. Um, but I had this, not I, but we, my friend that I recently told you about that recently passed away. God bless her soul. But we were recently coming up with this idea, these plans, because she was like into event planning, and we wanted to get a cocktail dress. And basically it's like a human cocktail dress. So you stand, it's like you'll have a model stand in the middle, and it's this giant like crate, and it has little slots where you can sit champagne glasses, wine glasses, or whatever, and it surrounds the person. You decorate it with flowers, lights, or whatever. So it's kind of like a human, dress that's standing there, and they just stand there and pose the whole time. That was just something else that was like in the works that we didn't get to push out there, but I'm gonna still keep that in mind as well. So just in case, if I go ahead and get the dress and somebody has a special event like a wedding, um, a 50th birthday, just throwing stuff out there, just some special event, that would be like a great, perfect idea to have.
Okay. Now, before we go any farther, would you give them your way they can contact you?
Yes. And yeah, I'm looking at it because last time I recently changed my Instagram name. That's why. I do have Facebook and Instagram. On Instagram, you can find me at supa_nova.ig. So that's SUPA_NOVA.IG. And then on Facebook, I'm under Francis Cherie. That's FrancisSherri. Either one of those, you can find me.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and go into what our subject is for this last 20 minutes. And it's going to kind of be a little thought provoking because it's thought provoking for me too. But what we're going to be leaving in 2023. I'm going to let you start since you're my guest, and then I'm going to end it.
Okay. So one more thing before I say that. I
Oh,
told you I had to write it because it's a lot that I get into. But one more thing, I just wanted to kind of showcase something else that I forgot to mention to you earlier. But as I was around here getting ready, so I also do logos. So this is one logo I did for a company called Slayla. Shout out to Slayla, Miss Natalie. Um, so this was a little tumbler I made for her with her logo, and I'll hold it a little close so you can see. So she
oh,
owns a clothing line, and very beautiful luxury clothing. She actually we modeled, me and a bunch of other young ladies modeled her clothing line in the Cinco de Mayo parade in Oak Cliff. She was like one of the first people to give me a chance because that's something else I do. I model. I've done music videos for some local artists, and stage performances. Dance has always been my thing since a little girl. Shout out to Slayla again. And then I just wanted to show one more thing. This is a t-shirt. This was very detailed. This was a modeling group that I was in called House of Black. I'm trying to get it in the middle. So shout out to them as well. Shout out to them as well. That was a detailed shirt to make, very hard to make. But I just wanted to showcase those things. Just tell those last few things about myself. It's like I said, I do whatever. I do it all. Anything that I love. And if you need logos, t-shirts, or whatever, I can do basic designs like that, like one color designs. Just DM me, and I got you.
oh.
Um,
All right. Now, let me tell you what Francis Cherie told me. She told me on the phone, she said, well, I'm getting over like talking to people. Now, she got all these things that she got, all of these things. And so and I told her, I said, you got to showcase. So I applaud you for doing your homework. Because I did tell her, I said, you got to showcase yourself. She's got so many different things. The only thing I did here was the drinking, the mixology. I did not know about the modeling. I did not know about the dancing. Don't you dance too?
yes. So
Dancing. Uh,
modeling. This is one of my photos that was in Appalachian Life magazine.
okay.
Shout out to Lamar Wells. This was a photo he took, and I was on the front cover of this one. Shout out to G Lee. So that was some of my modeling stuff. And then I have done stage performances, choreography performances for local artist Mandy Red. Shout out to Mandy. She does some Latin and reggaeton music, and I'm getting better with my Spanish. I used to be very good at it, but I didn't use it a lot, so I'm relearning. But I love the culture, and I have been doing all of that as well. But yes, I told you I got a lot.
Okay. Okay. And I'm happy. I'm very happy that you did your work. You did your own work. Because that's what I told her. I was like, you got to showcase it. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that you decided to join me. So now let's go ahead, get our list together, things that we're going to be leaving in 2023, things that are not going to benefit us. And then I'm going to go ahead and tell you about this hustle word. The hustle word, my grandfather say hustle mean you may not be able to get it or you might not. You might be able to get it or you may not. So hustle is like a short-lived deal. So say, look, this is my businesses. You see what I'm saying? This is my business. That's more grounded. That means it's for
Mhm.
people. And that makes it for sure what your worth is too. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
I
Because
respect that. I like that.
yeah, he used to say, no, baby, it ain't no hustle in it. This is your business. So this is your business. Uh, so and there is no negotiation for what your worth is either.
Mhm.
Your worth is a lot. So Now let's go ahead and do our little list of what we're gonna get rid of this year, because we're going into another year. And then I want you to end it with the let the good time roll. I'll tell you when to hit it, but let's go ahead and give it out. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna leave behind, as I said earlier in 2023, fear. The reason I say fear is because when I put my mind to something, I want to have more faith and believe in myself more, and believe that it's gonna go through. Even if there's bumps in the road, I'm not gonna say that it failed. I'm just gonna say maybe I need to change the plans. Maybe I need to take a different route with it. But I don't want to be scared to attempt something or achieve something. I'm gonna take that leap of faith and I'm gonna execute. Um, so that's like my number one fear. And then aside of that will be doubt, and I'm leaving behind lack of self love. I am going to apply self love to the T, whether that be just spending more time with myself, understanding myself more. I've started doing a lot more meditation, which has been amazing. I bought a sound bath bowl. If y'all don't know what that is, look it up. That's part of my meditation, and oh my God, it's a whole different thing. Um, but yeah, just doing things more to understand me and living up to things that I love to do.
Oh,
Um, so that's what I would say I'm going to leave behind.
okay. Well, those are some big threes. Those are major big threes. Um, and I really love the self love because it starts
Mhm.
with us before it goes anywhere else anyway. Um, Let me think. What I'm gonna do is to leave this my second guessing out. I'm gonna leave that in 2023. There's no place in for it in 2024. So I'm not gonna be second guessing in 2024. So if you don't catch me the first time, no, it's definitely gonna be no, because it's not gonna be no second guessing. If I said now, the next thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna quit procrastinating. To be honest, I've been writing a book of fear, which is fear not. Now, biblically, fear not is in the Bible 365 times. So it's written in there enough times to let me know that God knew that was going to be a problem for us. That we are going to have some fear. But he was
Mhm.
telling us, I got enough of it for every day of the year. So that's what I'm gonna stop procrastinating, get that book broke. Um, and let me think. My last one that I want to leave back. I think I want to spend more time with positivity. I don't want to spend next year with any negativity at all, because I tend to, honestly, I can get trapped in it. You know what I'm saying? You don't
Yeah.
want, but you somehow, like, you don't, that's not where you want to go, but sometimes things present and you just get sucked into it. So this year I'm not going to do that.
Mhm. Well, I think those are awesome. I actually agree with, as you're saying. I'm like, yep, me too. That's more. So I agree with all of those. Those are great, great, great things to leave behind.
Yeah, I don't want to take them into 24. I want to, I think next year is going to be a better year. I'm going to be claiming it for myself, for you too, Miss Francis Cherise. Since this is my last one for until next year. So I'm very honored that you spend this hour with me, and
I,
it's a pleasure. Yeah.
yes, I'm very honored that you invited me, and this was amazing. And definitely, I would love to continue. Got to do more of these. I'm getting in the groove.
But guess what? Guess what I'll do? I will get back with you at the year start. We'll do maybe in 3 more months. We'll do a follow up to see where you at. Cause I want to see you put some of this stuff in concrete, and I want to see you really going out and flourishing in all of it. I want that self love to be coming out in all of your work. Cause I think you're an extraordinary woman. You've got so many gifts. I see nothing but amazement coming for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I should have it more concrete. I got something else coming this new year. I already got it in the plan. So
Okay.
I'm excited about that. So if y'all want to find out, y'all just gonna have to follow me.
Okay. And you want how to follow you again?
Yeah, so on Instagram it's gonna be supa SUPA underscore Nova NOVA .IG, and on that was Instagram, and on Facebook it's gonna be Francis FRANCIS Cherie SHERRI.
All right. Now, Francis Cherie, could you also hit us with Let the Good Time Rolls as we go ahead and end this show and go on into our new year?
I sure can. I hope y'all have enjoyed and y'all have had a great Christmas and make this New Year's wonderful. And as they say in the great state of Louisiana, laissez les bon temps rouler.